Hey guys, Midget here, and welcome to another episode of my Walking Dead reviews. Today we're reviewing episode 3 of season 1, Tell It to the Frogs. Now this was definitely by far my favourite episode so far in the season. I don't know in the whole season because Test Subject 14 or whatever it is, 17, competes with that, but this is definitely my top 2. It's an amazing episode. It starts off with Mel losing his mind, talking to himself, laughing. I don't know what he would be laughing about since... I know he's like talking about Rick, he's a prick and blah blah blah. But he did not do anything, I guess, to lose. Well, he just started laughing, maybe because of the heat, he got dehydrated or something. I don't know. But then he comes to terms with everything. It zooms out for a second, zooms back in, and he comes to terms with everything. He starts crying, He starts tugging his hand on the, railing or whatever, wall, whatever it was. I can't remember how you call it. But that bar he got his hand handcuffed to, it's kind of weird because I sort of, what's the word? It was about to break, so if you put more force into it, maybe it would have. And I'm 100% sure that walkers were trying to get Mill, and that's why he was, that's how he escaped. It might come in the next future episodes, but it didn't show it. But I'm 100% sure that's what happened. But since it didn't show it, I'm having doubts to whether it happened or it was me. I'm 90% sure it did happen, and he'll say it in season 2 because that's when we see him later on. However, it's kind of weird, that one, because I'm having doubts to it, like I said. Then it turns to the group, no, not the group, the van, and Glenn just, getting in front of the van, and Rick and the other guy talk to, what's the word? We'll talk to each other and says at least someone having fun, meaning Glenn, because Glenn's alright with that car. He is pretty enjoying it, and when Carl is getting a haircut, he's talking to Shane and saying, oh, I'll get some frogs, and Glenn comes back, tells the group what happened, and then Amy's being really weird. She's like, is Andrew okay? Is she? And then the van finally comes back, and everyone comes out the van, meets the families, says hello, and then Rick comes out, and the moment that Rick saw Carl and Carl saw Rick, Carl ran up to Rick, hugged him, and Rick started crying, and Laurie just and she gave him a hug, and I was in tears. I wasn't crying, but it was so emotional. It was definitely the most emotional part up to date, I think. In my opinion, I highly believe that was the most emotional bit in the whole The Walking Dead up to season 4 episode 8. I don't know in the future, but up to the season 4 episode 8, it's the most emotional. I've never been through a moment like that. Maybe Dale's death, but it wasn't that bad. Well, it was bad, I had tears in my eyes, but I would rate that 9 out of 10. However, I'd rate this 10 out of 10 on emotional scale. So everyone goes to sleep, and Rick and Laurie make out. So Laurie is kind of a slag because she slept with Shane, and now she slept with Rick. However, I wouldn't call her it, because for the basic fact that she thought her husband was dead, so she has a right to move on, and the world's ended, and the guy, no, he's his best friend, but after all, he is dead, and you're bound to move on, and since he helped her through that tough time of the world ending, you'll fall in love with him, and you don't know how long it's been. It might have been 7 months, so they might have gone to know each other a bit better. So I'm not really against Laurie. I kind of like her character, and I don't understand, Laurie's haters. I understand that she didn't leave Carl in the house and all that, but she's not that bad. And all of you start hating Sarah Wayne Callies, the actual actor of Laurie, for just acting that part, and I don't understand why that is, because she's played a lot of other parts, in other films and so on. So that I just like to point that out there. And Rick wakes up and meets his new teammates, slash gang, whatever you want to call them. He meets Carol, and she's doing the washing, sort of, I guess, ironing, and he goes straight away to talk to Laurie, or no, Shane, sorry it is, and then Carl's screaming for help, and all the men go like to save Carl basically, and what they do is Shane chucks Daryl. We don't see Daryl yet. Shane chucks Rick a spear, and Laurie just uselessly goes there, just for no reason. So does Andrea and Amy, just to get in there, to photobomb the place. No, what's it called? Photobombing. No. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. And then, Daryl, no, it's not Daryl, it's Shane, the, Latino guy, and, Dale and Rick all beat up this one walker. So it kind of proves how much the the characters have developed from having one walker each to, 4-on-1 walker, It's they've, really gone from the amateur to world class, at killing walkers now. You can see how long the apocalypse has been, so it's experienced a minute more. And so they kill the walker, and Daryl comes out, and Daryl, says, oh, he's trying to get that deer, but he gets some squirrels, and he's like, Merle, come out, man, I got some squirrels. And then they give him the painful truth, and he gets really violent with Shane and Rick. How Rick says he tied his brother, handcuffed him to a roof, and he's just like, so let me process this. You left my brother on a roof, you handcuffed him, and you left him there? And I was laughing my head off when that happened. He's so funny, Daryl. He's got more funny lines in the next season, and even more in all the episodes, pretty much. But yeah, he gets into a fight. He gets some knife and tries to stab Rick and Shane with it. However, Shane gets him in a headlock, and Rick just talks to him. And then T-Dog says that he dropped the key down a pipe, and he's like, well, that's gonna make me feel better, isn't it? Which was also a funny line. And then Rick decides to go back to Atlanta, not for the fact that Merle's there, but for the guns and walkie-talkie, because he was meant to communicate with Morgan every single day at dawn. So that's why he wants to go back to Atlanta. And it really, all you see, well, not really, Rick, Daryl, T-Dog, and Glenn go back to Atlanta, and that's all you see. And then the next scene's Laurie getting some wood, and she asks Dale where Carl is because she couldn't see him, and Dale just says, he's gone to the quarry with Shane to catch some frogs. And you see Shane being a better father than Rick at the moment. He's really bonded with Carl really well, I would say. And since Rick's been back, he's not really done anything with Carl. However, since Rick was back, Shane has done more with him than Rick did, which is kind of weird since he's not his real dad. But I think Rick has more important things to do, such as survival. Meanwhile, Shane's just sitting on his ass, I guess, sort of, He's still protecting the group, but not in that manner, getting guns and supplies. However, then you see, this funny scene, really funny scene, amusing, you could call it, where the girls that are doing the washing are getting watched by Ed, which is an absolute dick. And what happens is they're they all mention things they really miss, and they're like, I miss my coffee maker thingy, and I miss my something, and then Andrew goes, I miss my vibrator, and everybody laughs their head off, and I sort of, smirked, and then Carol sort of suspiciously looks back and goes, me too. And then I was proper in tears after that, because she looks like an old harmless lady, and then that man behind her is her husband, and they've obviously not done it, so what is the problem? I do not know. But so Ed comes to them and stops the laughter, which is a bit dicky, he can't let her, he doesn't let his wife have fun. And then, after a bit, Andrew gets really angry, and she stands up to him and goes, what are you doing here? So why are you sitting on your ass smoking cigarettes? Is this what you're for? If you want to do your own laundry, here you go. And she chucks the wet shirt at him, and he's like, no, he chucks it back at her, and then she's like, oh damn, which pretty much everyone watching was, I guess. And then from no reason, you know. Well, at this point it changes back to Carl and Shane, and Laurie's like takes Carl and goes, "You listen to me, not Shane. Come with me," because she's really angry at Shane for saying Rick was dead. But Shane had all the right to say that, you know, in that hospital when the war broke out. You know, I'm not going to say what happened because that's going to be in the future episodes, but he had all the right to say it, you know, so I don't get why she'd be angry. You know, she was a bit of a bitch, I guess. I'm sorry for swearing this much in this episode, but it was all in context with the whole episode, so it's not really that bad. And then when Laurie goes with Carl, you know, Shane's just looking over the women, and he's walking down up the quarry basically, and he sees that Ed's like in an argument with all these women, and then out of nowhere he goes, "Come with me, Carol," and she's like, "Okay," and all the girls are tugging him back, and for no reason he slaps her. So Shane absolutely beats the living crap out of him. He grabs him by his shirt like that, and he's like, "Let go of me," and then he just beats him so much everybody's like, "Shane, stop, you're gonna kill him." And he's like, if you basically he says, I'll submit in, "If you touch another girl or young lady again, I will kill you, you know, this is what I've done to other men before, basically, like, and I'm gonna do it to you, so listen up." And he's like, "Well, you hit another girl." He's like, "No, do you hear me? Yes," you know. So he sort of rescues the situation because you don't know what the situation might have gone to. And then he's sort of like awkwardly looking at Andrea, because I don't know what Andrea was like thinking then. Is he mad? Why has he done it? Or good job? And Carol nevertheless really loves Ed, so she goes up to him crying. She doesn't care that he hit her, you know. I kind of like that Jackie went, before all this, before Carol gets hit, what to come back with Bruce again. Oh yeah, we've all seen them. I like that bit. And basically it ends on where the group go to get Merle, like they go through all Atlanta to get Merle, and what happens is they go onto the roof, and then Daryl just starts screaming, "No! No! No!" And it's really funny. Well, not funny. It's kind of serious, but the Daryl bit's funny again because Daryl's hilarious. And well, not what happens. You see Merle's hand torn completely off his body, and you see a saw. So you don't know what to believe. Then I guess you can probably tell what's happened. You know, he's chained his hand off. You don't know why, but I guess Daryl reacted like that for the simple fact of he might not see his brother ever again, but because he might bleed out somewhere. But you know, if he was to survive, I guess I don't know why Daryl. Say if you never bled out, like you could, I don't know, rip your head off. No, you'd be dead, to be honest. Rip your whole arm off, and you won't bleed out, you know, you just walked around like painless. I guess Daryl won't be that sad because Merle definitely knows where their group is. And in the Survival Instinct Walking Dead game, it said that, you know, Daryl and Merle got separated for like 13 days where Daryl got stuck in the woods and Merle something else. So you can definitely keep himself well not organised. He can take care of himself. I'm trying to say Merle. So you'll find his way back to the camp. So I guess he shouldn't have reacted, but you know, because he doesn't know what happened to Merle, he doesn't know what to think. So yeah, so that's basically all that happens. And now I give this episode a 10 out of 10 because it was an amazing episode. You know, it was emotional throughout the whole episode. You know, it was like left on a cliffhanger because of the torn off arm, so you don't know what to think. And basically, overall, it's a very good episode. So, like, last episode was pretty dull. This episode was really good. So that's why I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. This was Midget, and I'm going to see you guys next time. Peace!